And we are live. Hiya, stream.
It's go time. Hello. Welcome to our holy, hallowed Sunday. It's HxH Church. We're here, gathered here today.
Some days. Listen, sometimes you're the hunter, sometimes you're the hunter, and sometimes you're the cross.
You know?
And you know what?
He be spitting facts sometimes.
We
This
be spitting
guy.
facts sometimes.
This guy do be spitting facts sometimes.
So one thing
Wow.
that was exciting about this chapter back is, did you notice? 21 pages.
Yeah. Because we got a special color page here. Where Saradnik looks like a Christ-like figure.
Uh-huh.
Beautiful
Speaking of
color
Hunter x Hunter
page.
Sunday. Yeah. What's he holding there? What's he got in his hands, huh?
It's a young child he's trying to heal with his Christ-like powers, of course.
Oh yeah, of course. I
It's
gotcha.
definitely not Kurapika's former friend Pyro, whose head is probably in a jar in Saradnik's quarters. No, probably not that.
Here's the real question. Is the color page canon? So does Hunter or so does Saradnik actually take the head out and play with it? That's the real question here.
You know, I wouldn't put it past him. I honestly wouldn't put it past him. He's a little freak, that guy, that Saradnik guy. I don't know if you noticed reading the pages. Well,
It
before
seemed like a freak to me, but I can see why you might think that.
Okay, yeah. So to you, he's just kind of normal. In your twisted, fucked up
Yeah.
world, he's just kind of a normal guy.
In my world, Saradnik is just a normal guy. In my messed up reality.
So before we get started in earnest on the chapter, I do want to talk about. So I woke up early this morning at around 5, just because my sleep schedule has been a little borked. And I saw a stream from Hunter x Hunter. It was 10,000 gratitude punches from Netero. It was a timer countdown to the chapter.
Just boom.
Which is very funny. A very funny way to do the timer countdown. But something else I want to mention is that after the timer countdown finished, instead of just the chapter releasing, they also said, okay, here's a website, which is a website that's all in Japanese that I linked you to just right before we did the stream. That is celebrating 100 million chapters sold of Hunter x Hunter, which is, I don't know if you know this, is a lot. I mean, there's not even 100 million people on the planet. Like, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah. There's a lot of chapters.
So celebrating 100 million chapters, it's one of the few that's gotten that many, and it got it with this most recent 39 that released. Have you seen the volume cover for 39 as well?
I don't think I have.
It's a very nice picture of Hisoka, is what I'll say. So, I don't know if they have it up on Viz yet or not, because they usually have the volume covers up on there.
See volumes.
But yeah, they got over 100 million, and they're doing a special event in Japan where they're putting up like 115 characters as graffiti up in random places in Japan. And if the Japanese people scan the QR codes, it reveals that to everybody on the website, like where that character is, and gives like character specific art for each of the characters. So
that is really cool.
There's a real life Hunter hunt over in Japan going on right now, which is really funny.
A real life Hunter hunt.
It's very funny. So I that was something that happened this morning, and I thought was very hilarious. So I don't know if there's anything else going to happen from that website, but at the very least, we're gonna get some cool character art, and hopefully, they find all the characters. But yeah, I don't know if you found that cover page or not. The volume.
Yeah, I saw Hisoka. He is very pretty.
Yeah,
A
it's
very non-horny picture for sure.
it is mocking one of the earlier York New volumes, I believe, where it shows Crollo in a similar pose where he's putting his hand in like his face and stuff like that. So it's like an imitation mocking of that cover. Just what people were pointing out. So very cool. Uh, of course, Hunter x Hunter would do something like that. But anyway, here we are. It's back. It's been about a year and a half. Last December 2024 was the last time we got a chapter. But we're back now with Jesus Serednik to be our guide today
Yes.
here in the Holy Church of Hunter x Hunter. So before we get started, is there any other thing that you want to like say before we kind of start chunking into the chapter?
Let's see. No, not really anything I can think of.
Okay. And yeah, the we're just gonna go through the chapter. We're not gonna. I don't know what we're gonna do. We're gonna go through the chapter. We gotta talk about what we think about it, because we had the benefit of both of us being free right now, so we just said let's stream. Why not?
Yeah, let's go ahead and start early. I was off today, fortunately. So instead of being
Yes,
free at 3:30, I'm free at forever and always.
until tomorrow or whenever you have to work,
Yeah.
or until your wife says get off the damn computer and do something.
Yeah, until she gets home. She's actually out today.
Oh, okay. Well, for now, the boys will be boys. While the wives are away, the
Yeah.
boys will play.
And
So,
specifically, we're going to be playing with some uh give me a second. I'm looking for it. I'm going to find it.
yeah.
I'm going to find it. Yeah, yeah, there's going to be a good payoff to this.
Hmm. I'm waiting.
Going to play with some good politics. I don't. Okay, I lied. There wasn't anything. There was nothing good coming from that. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. Well, let's
I
into
didn't find
earnest.
it.
What were you looking for?
A good punchline for the joke.
Okay. So, in earnest,
What did you?
I thought you had something that you were like trying to find.
No, just trying to find some sense.
All right. Well, chapter 411 announcement. Uh, Here we are. And we'll go right into page 1, which gives us a little. It's a different page than the rest of the chapter. It starts us off where this is before. We're going back a bit. We're going back
Yeah,
in
yeah.
time before martial
Kind
law.
of. Yeah, this establishes where we are temporally.
Yeah, it's a repeat of one of the pages that we had previously, essentially. It might actually be the exact page copied over. I'm not sure. uh, but it's basically saying that this is pre-martial law post death of Hulkenberg's body.
Yeah.
So in that short, narrow point of time, which is really exciting because I can't wait to see what all these characters' reaction is going to be to the martial law being activated. What the fuck's going to happen in this room? But for now, we're just going to get back into that. But first, it's like these first few pages are like doing doing like the busy work. Like let's get this, let's do the dishes real quick so that we can focus on the meal or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we cut into our favorite loserous kidnapping trio planning to kidnap and kill loserous trio.
Yeah.
uh, of Kaiser Cacho and Melody. And they're talking about what we had mentioned shortly on our stream, that Fugetsu's passed out, sleeping right now. And you know, Melodies thinks it's a good thing, and then Cacho comes in saying, "I wonder if I'm the issue, like if I'm drawing away her energy, essentially." And Melody basically says something very poignant to her: "Never think that way. Do not think this thought again." Which I think is the right thing to say to her,
Hmm.
because we don't know what's going on with Cacho exactly, but we do know it's not something that her existing isn't something that's going to be in her control to from that perspective change. I guess like the only thing
Yeah.
she could do at this point is help her sister out, you know. So don't think that you're causing a burden on her. And then we got to a very almost disturbing group of panels. We see the captain of Camilla's guard changing her face to appear more like a proper young maid lady instead of what she looked like before.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not going to say anything about how she looked, you know, but it's just very funny how uh,
I also know your taste in which one you were thinking about.
hey, I'm not saying anything, okay? I do think it is a very
I
funny.
know your taste.
It's a very funny group of panels. And then we have her talking to this older woman who is also on Camilla's staff, uh, kind of making fun of her, say because she says this is who I really am. The face that I wear when I'm the captain of the guard is just a face that I put on. And then the grandmother's like, sure.
Yeah,
Like,
really interesting. I think this character is really interesting, and I wonder how much we're going to get out of her. In particular, because I'm me, my immediate thought is like, okay, can we make a transgender reading of this character? Um,
I don't.
that's just because uh, specifically, but like in all seriousness, like what I'm kind of thinking right now is, this character has something going on with how, for the sake of Camilla, she has turned herself into something fundamentally different because Camilla has given her essentially a life.
Mhm.
I don't know exactly where we are going with this or if it's just set up right now,
Right.
but I do like it. I really like this character so far. I like the vibes.
Yeah, and it's
Yes, luckily you should definitely watch Hunter x Hunter. This stream today will be
it's
full of
very
spoilers for the
spoilery.
far parts of the manga, because that's kind of the whole reason we're here today. But you should definitely watch Hunter x Hunter. It is very fun and it is very dense. If you want a show that you can chew on, then Hunter x Hunter is it.
I mean, we're 15 minutes in, and we're on page 6, 7, 6, 7. We're 15 minutes into our discussion, and it's only going to get slower from here. Is all I'll say. Once we get into the actual stuff that the characters are talking about. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very very dense, and we will not. We will not hold from spoilers. So this is the most recent chapter just released.
Yeah.
Uh,
Not that this actually spoils much in the main Hunter x Hunter.
no, like if you just finished the anime and you watch the stream, you'd be like, "What the fuck's going on?" You'd be like,
What?
"I see Kurapika. Who are these 50 other people?" uh, yes. uh, so yeah, we see the Captain Camille's guard putting her face on and going to the Nen classes, the second round of Nen classes, and meeting up with everyone else in the Nen class. Friendly reminder: we got Bill in the room with Oito and Wobel, and we got Kurapika standing outside the door with the two guards from Zhang Lei that he sent over to help them out, Sakata and Hashito. Those are who those are. Just a friendly reminder. Um, and so yeah, those are our boys in black protecting Wobel essentially. Um, because of the deal Kurapika we made with the third prince to kind of protect Wobel so that Kurapika can try to find a way to prevent Wobel from dying in the game, essentially.
Yeah.
Um, and so we have this big wide shot of all these all these bozos. Uh, and so here's where we're going to take stuff a little slower because we're going to kind of go. A lot of this chapter is all of these people talking about their thoughts that they think other people are thinking, and how they how those intersect with each other throughout the whole chapter.
Yeah. I think one interesting thing that I really like about this exchange is it really highlights the amount of which, like, the people that are attending this class is a mix of people that are doing it for the sake of their princes. There
Mm-hmm.
are people who are doing it more for the sake of the queen that they served as
Mm-hmm.
opposed to the specific prince that they're serving.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are some people who are primarily focused on their own self-interest because they've realized that, oh wait, learning Nen, no matter how this shakes out, like, this could probably be good for me.
Yes. So we have that, and the fun part is getting all their internal monologues, getting all their external stuff, how they interact with people that they know, and also getting how they explain or internally think that their superiors or other people are thinking essentially throughout this whole chapter. Um, nobody does it like Hunter x Hunter does it. At least not in the manga sphere. I can say there's nobody that does it like this. Um, so we get here and uh, so we start off and it's saying Kurapika basically says that the participants of the last class are the ones that asked for the classes to continue. So that's not something that I realized last time. Is basically the participants were all asking, "Can you continue these Nen classes?" Uh,
Yeah.
and so because of that, he opened up a introductory class and a beginner class. The introductory class is for more people for the princes to send over to get them to learn Nen. Well, the beginner class is the people that already went through that intro and will now be learning the basic principles. Um, I do like the little back and forth between Benjamin's Benjamin's guard, Furikov, and Babinia. Babinia. We just talked about
Hmm.
both these boys last time. I love both of them in different ways. Babinia
Yes.
because he's just like he seems like a good guy, despite as opposed to most of the Benjamin crew.
Right.
He seems like a good guy compared to most of them. And Furikov because he's an asshole, but he has his head screwed on straight, unlike a lot of the other assholes you've seen from
He
Benjamin.
Yeah, he's so entertaining every time he is on screen.
So we have them bantering a little bit, like which one of us is in the intro class, and it's like you. They're bantering a bit with each other, uh, which is fun to see. These characters not completely serious at all moments. But Kurapika goes over the fact that the beginner class will master one of the four basics of Nen each week. so that they'll be done in a month. And in the intro class, he says he'll allow the princes that have agendas that align with ours to add an extra person to the class. So basically, what he's saying is, if he's basically inviting the princes, if they want to send an extra guard or maid over into that intro class. Um, and I believe like the way he's saying like the princes whose agendas align with ours is basically just his way of saying like any prince can do this, but they're confirming that they're like kind of publicly almost saying like we are on friendly terms with them. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he's basically just saying like you can send an extra person here. Is basically what he's saying. And so we have Furikov being very surprised at how fast they're going to do this, and how quickly they're going to turn people from defenseless cannon fodder into actual like Nen users. And
Mm-hmm.
something interesting he says, he's increasing the number of recruits. In addition to equalizing military strength, it'll spread out the guards in the other princess quarters and induce the succession battle as a whole toward a more defensive contest. So last time we had discussed how Kurapika's plan was to make it more defensive by giving a lot of people Nen, but there's something I didn't even think of where he's inviting more guards in a sense so that there will be less guards in their quarters so that they will be able to do less shenanigans while these Nen classes are being taught. I didn't even think about it from that angle where it's like he's getting more people into this room
That's
just to have like a
that's
more defensive
true.
game. So I was like, that's very
Yeah, because like
interesting.
especially
Mhm.
because like part of the thing about teaching your dards Nen is that you don't want to send over your best and brightest dards, but you also wouldn't want to send over the worst dards you have because that might upset like the balance of power among your dards. So like presumably there are going to be some like pretty or relatively important people coming over to these classes. And that in and of itself is another factor that can lead to the classes themselves like adding to that stalemate. Like there's so much about these classes is just like literally just spreading everyone thinner while also making everyone stronger. It's such an engaging dynamic.
Yeah. So yeah, like you said, like we said last time as well. It's funny that Karapik is trying to draw it out as a defensive game, but he's doing it even more than we had mentioned. He's just doing it on another layer that we weren't even thinking about, which
Mm-hmm.
is funny that they bring it up. Um, so moving on. Uh, Next page, we get uh, Mr. Belier, uh, Beleriante. Very interesting character to watch. So if you don't remember, he was the one of the guards from the
Are you
13th Prince's
oh,
room.
one quick question. Are
Hmm.
you showing the pages on your stream?
Yeah, I am.
Hey, luckily, if you go over to the because I'm just shiny hunting here just to have something going on in the background. If you head over to my co-streamer stream, twitch.tv/Paggigalo, he will actually be seeing the manga panel. So if you want to actually kind of follow what we're talking about more rather than just listening, if you head over to his stream, you will actually be able to see more of what's going on.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm going through it page by page, basically, and I just have it up on the stream.
Okay. Just because, especially because I probably won't be stopping to give like a lot of explanations to chat.
Hmm.
Just because there's a lot of text for us to get through.
Yes, yes. I mean, this page that I just turned to is basically a novel. Um, but so the first person we see on this page is a maid or butler, presumably from the 13th Guard, the 13th Prince, talking to Beleriante from the 13th Prince. He's a hunter assigned to the 13th Prince, one of the guard hunters, and he's a very interesting character to watch. If you remember, he was the character that walked out of the room to confirm that you couldn't go back in.
Uh huh.
And he like, was basically like, "I guess I'll go do something else," basically. And so he ended up going up to the Nen classes. Um, he's a very interesting character to watch. A lot of people have a theory that he is the silent majority user online. because he's one of the already established Nen users who knew about the rune, or knew about the Nen classes when he walked in, and already knew about Nen. So he's one of the theorized silent majority users, like one of the 3 or 4 that people think uh, is very likely to be silent majority. So it's a very interesting one to keep your eye on for now. Um,
Yeah,
but he
visiting
also,
Bellerante is very interesting.
yeah, he also shifted the blame off of Kurapika when Kurapika was suspected of murdering the 4th prince's guard that died um, from silent majority.
Hmm.
So keep your eyes on him. He's an interesting guy so far. Uh, but he's talking to this maid, male maid. This is the first male maid I think we've seen, and
Yeah,
all the maids we've seen are female so far. It's the first male maid, unless they are female. I may be assuming things. But they have like a different outfit compared to all the other maids too, so that's why I guess my
yeah,
assumption's there. Anyway, so he says, "Didn't people get murdered during the previous workshop, and they still haven't found who did it? Will we be safe this time?" And Bellariante says, "Honestly, I don't know, but I don't think they'll go after you. Do let me know right away if you see a girl in a mask," which is very funny if he's the user. It's very funny for him to say
very funny if
that.
he is the user. Which
uh,
also makes sense because what silent majority needs is specifically someone to see it that isn't the target.
mhm.
So, like, this could be him setting up his ability to work, or it also could just be just like him trying to warn the guy.
Mhm. Yeah, it basically just, if you see a girl in a mask, say something, speak up, So just a little interesting interaction from somebody who might be a little more suspicious than we thought. But then we move on to the maids. We start talking to some of the maids. So we have 2 of the maids that took the class already. They're talking to each other like, "Does it feel like your skin is cleared up and my shoulders are left stiff?" And the other one's like, "I know, I still get tired, but I feel more energized." So this is basically confirming what we already know about Nen, that it is life energy, and then it very much like makes you younger for longer. Essentially, is the easiest way to put it. They're just confirming that, and it's kind of funny seeing these characters interact to that, like realize that and kind of
Yeah,
interact with it.
it's nice to have some like smaller silly moments kind of sprinkled in.
Mm-hmm. Then right after that, we have 2 more maids talking. One of them that is new to the classes, and one of them that did take the beginner class. Um, yeah, that is in the beginner class now, I should say. And the one that is new to the classes, Six Queen says 6 Queen Seiko keeps denying it, but if the soldiers tried to seal the area, the 10th Prince Cat's show is no longer. And then the other one that took the class says, "Shh, just do as you're told." So the rumors already getting out that 10th Prince Cacho is dead, as the guards are kind of being reassigned to the 11th Prince, which is interesting because Cacho's still around in a sense.
Yeah,
It feels like they could really easily just put Cacho, in. I don't even know how. Like they could have Cacho pretend like she's still alive. You know what I mean?
yeah, which they're kind of doing.
Clearly, it isn't working as best they think it is.
Yeah, I think the big thing with that is the kind of question of how obvious will it be to people who are experienced in Nen that the spirit beast Kacho is a spirit beast? Because that's something that we don't really know. Like,
Mm-hmm.
how complete of a copy is she?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we know that even though she's a spirit beast, like um, the other princes, spirit beasts and stuff, that people who aren't proficient in Nen can see her. She's not like the other spirit beasts where they just can't see them essentially.
Yeah,
So it's interesting from that aspect. And it feels like it's something where it's like maybe not everyone knows, but the sixth queen does appear to know at this point, apparently.
Yeah.
So which is interesting because we barely even scratched. We've talked about the queens very lightly before,
Yeah.
but they all have their own motives and they're all doing their own thing as well. So it feels like the sixth queen is realizing the ship has sailed on Kacho and is putting all her stuff into Fuketsu instead. Um, so then we get on to some of the Seventh Prince's guards, who I think there's a new Seventh Prince. It's not one of these guys, but the guy who gets introduced later in the chapter is a new one, I think. Um, but we have Javietti and Sotobi talking. Sotobi is the captain of the Seventh Prince's Guard, the guy with the like cat ears hair.
Yeah.
So he's talking, and Javietti says, if the extra person we're bringing is a guard like Gatu, must mean Nen is that powerful? And he says, yes, Seventeenth Losers desires to watch and wait till the trouble with the Mafia has settled down. This grace period is a great opportunity for us. So it's confirmation that Loserus... So we don't know what happens to Losers when the... when
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 martial
martial
law
law
gets
gets declared. We don't know if he goes into hiding. We don't know if he gets kidnapped by Melody and Kaiser and Gacho. We don't know what happens to him, but he's missing. But at least
Yeah.
here, uh, it says that he's trying to bide his time while the mafia stuff settles, essentially.
Yeah.
Um,
Don't know how good of a strategy that is, because I don't know when that's getting settled.
yeah. And then we have, from here, we're with Second Queen Duzal now, but no matter which prince becomes king, all of us will face restructuring. Getting the skill will significantly impact our options. Yeah, it would be valuable to get in contact with Second Prince Camilla's personal guards here. And then they look over at Prince Camilla's maids, and they say, she's one of the maids, right? She could be a spy. So, interesting point from these guys. They're now under command of Second Queen Duzal, who is the words I'm trying to look for here, who is the mother of Camilla, Tubepa, and Loserus, and the fake mother
Which makes
of
sense.
Halkenberg. So the mother of those four princes, quote unquote.
Yeah.
And so they're under her control now, even though they're Zhang guards, they're under her control because of, like, the whole deals crap that happened in the past.
Yeah.
All of that stuff that's been happening. So a lot of the Zhang guards also have that kind of affiliation with the the second queen as well, because they're kind of making the deals there. The deals to be aligned in that way. That makes sense. I'm explaining it weirdly, but
Yeah. Yeah.
they're
Lots
aligned.
of deals, lots of...
Yeah.
Yeah, just kind of going back to the guards for specific princes aren't necessarily aligned with that prince first and foremost. They're aligned sometimes with the queen first and foremost.
Yeah. And that queen also has another guard, which is one of her true guards, which is Gadu here. So Gadu, one of the queen's like actual, because the queens each have like a certain number of guards depending on how old of a queen they are. She has 8, and one of them is assigned here into the class Gadu. He's not one of Loserus's original guards. He is one of the queen's guards. So we already have these two saying, well, we're the queen's guards now. We're not actually Loserus's guards. So it looks like Loserus is kind of losing his losing his pool of guards very fast.
Yes.
Because the queen appears to be putting her eggs into a different basket. She has multiple options. This queen, she might have the most children of all the queens, or tied for it. Technically, with Halkenberg, technically, quote unquote, being her son.
Yeah.
Even though, like, anybody who looked at Queen Unma and Hulkenberg next to each other would know that they're related because they're fucking nose, but
Yeah. But oh well. Sometimes as it goes. Now we get the speaking of she could be a spy.
mm-hmm.
We get Sarah Hell. Good name. Love Hunter naming conventions.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Uh before we move on to her, one last thing I wanted to say. It's very dense. This manga is very dense. One last thing I wanted to say was Queen Duazul in the past, when she's been talked to before, like I believe her and Camilla had a conversation in one of the chapters, she doesn't like the succession contest. So it's interesting to think that she's moving her guards around and moving guards from some of her other children to maybe some of her other children. It feels like she's putting as many guards as she can in here because she has so many children with so many guards, essentially, that she's like trying to spread them out. Like technically these guys are both from Loservis, but they're under her, so she gets as many guards as she has kids times two, essentially, in here. Like,
Yeah.
so she's like spreading them out, and then she's going to put them on who knows. So we'll see what her plan is in the future, if she's really being kind of controlled by Camilla or if she has her own plans and that kind of thing. Anyway, moving on. Like you said, Sarah Hell, second princess captain of the guards. She says 14 Prince Wobble is in the master bedroom. I'm closer than I thought. I might be able to get my hands on something she used, so 5 days may be enough. We kind of glossed over her conversation before, but earlier she said if she killed herself right away, pretty much it would be or it would be like a no, not right away, but if she tried to activate her curse right away, she'd need a week to build up the power to kill Prince Wobble. Now that she's here, she's saying, well, if I get my hands on something that Prince Wobble touched, like a toy or something, I can do it in 5 days, of course. So interesting to think how dangerous this character is. This character's a ticking time bomb. That
a ticking time bomb for just Wobble.
Yeah, that might go under the radar for some of our characters for a bit. So 5 days on her. We'll put a little mental note, put a little flag on her. 5 days. We'll check back in on you with day 17. How many chapters that will be, who knows? Then we get 1040. 1040. 1040. He was it. If we remember, Zanglei has a lot of guards here. His Sakutai and Hashito, which are helping out, but Tenfutori is here to take the Nen class instead of like help them out. And he was the first person to be given a coin by Zanglei, so that's what kind of makes him keeping an eye on him kind of important.
For if and when those coins become important, which they
so,
might not.
Who knows? Zanglei might die before something happens, or who knows? They could be already having an effect. Anyway, Tenfutori says, along the joint declaration of surrender with Fifth Prince Subeppa, this is a strategy to induce chaos and defend via obfuscation. So he's saying like adding more people to the thing is helping us out with our plans, because if you remember, Tubeppa and Wobble basically kowtowed to Zanglei and said, we'll support you if you want to be the king or the emperor. And so with adding more people and like this kind of stuff, he's basically just saying we're confusing the game as much as possible. But he goes on further. He is in a call with Zanglei, and he says, it's unwise to reduce personnel in room 1003 any further, Your Highness. We could always invite Prince Wobble's party to dinner after the workshop is over. And then Zhang Lei responds, "We'd rather not have it reported to First Prince Benjamin that we've become good friends." So they're trying to keep it on the hush hush to Prince Benjamin that they have this alliance here, at least according to Zhang Lei. We might see a different perspective for some other characters later.
Yeah.
uh, but then Temptory says, "I've been waiting for this answer. The Mafia will take care of the armed conflict in the end anyway. I don't need to share this special ability with any more rivals in this rat race." Temptory uh, he's being defensive of Nen. Essentially, he realizes its power and is like he's trying to make sure Zhang Lei doesn't send anybody else to this class. Which is an interesting perspective. This guard in specific doesn't want any of the other guards to be here to get that power, essentially, which is very interesting. Uh, then Temptori says, "I understand. Leave things to us. Sakata is here anyway. We could get him to take the class." And it's interesting to note that Sakata and Hashido, that are like helping stand guard, don't have Nen. So they haven't taken the class and haven't unlocked their Nen yet. They're just kind of helping stand guard as part of this kind of alliance
Mm-hmm.
they have. So he's saying we could have Sakata take the class as well, um, which is him kind of trying to give a little bit of like maybe we could have him, but he's you can tell he's very much doesn't want anybody else to take the class besides him. He wants to be the one that has the power and is of most use to Zhang Lei. He wants to become, Zhang Lei's right hand man. Essentially, is what it feels like.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Which I think it's interesting for him to say this pretty much right after Sotobi's mention of gaining this power will significantly impact our options.
mhm. Yeah. So then we move on to Mayor, the Fifth Prince is captain of the guards, who has taken the introductory class. He is the leader of or the guards of Tubepas, who is also in that alliance with Zhang Lei and Wobble. Uh, he has a very different perspective. Says, "I may be prepared to use Nen, but I'm still basically powerless against First Prince Benjamin's personal guards. All I can do is keep improving myself and highlight our collaboration between Zhang Lei and to Benjamin. Benjamin's personal guards must have noticed the appearance of Fifth Prince Tubepa's Nen beast. This will act as a deterrent for a while. In the meantime, we'll invite Kurapika over for training. I can't be choosy if the prince is in danger." So, so very interesting. Back to back, we have Zhang Lei saying, "We don't want Prince Benjamin to know how good of friends we've come," to Beppa's captain of the guard saying, "I gotta flaunt this shit in Benjamin's face as much as possible."
Yeah, which I think what he says in particular of yeah, I've got this power now, but I'm still no match for any of Benjamin's personal guard does kind of highlight that the Nen right now, like the learning Nen functions a lot like the forming alliances is for these people, to where forming an alliance with a higher ranked prince or a prince that has more power than you in the case of Kurapika with his Nen, uh, does make you stronger, but it also does kind of put a target on your back.
Mm-hmm.
Like, now that he has Nen, this guy is 100% sure now that, oh my god, I stand no chance against
Yes.
anyone that knows what they're doing for real.
Yes. And it's very interesting that he's realized that since Tubepa's Nenbeast has appeared, it's like this will be a deterrent. We have to act as fast as possible to make Benjamin realize how close we are to Kurapika and Zhang Lei, essentially, so that Benjamin
Yeah.
doesn't go after us, which is very interesting. Uh, yeah, so it's like I said, it's a very interesting dynamic seeing that back to back. We're saying like it's like we can't let Prince Benjamin know how close we've gotten to Beppa's guard being like we have to let Prince Benjamin know that we've gotten very close. Very very funny dichotomy there. So these are uh, probably my two favorite pages of the chapter. Just going through all the characters in the room
Yeah.
and being like, let's hear their perspectives and how they think about their prince and their queen and yada yada yada, so on and so forth. Very very good pages already. Uh, as we continue, we get to Karapika's thoughts. Finally getting to Karapika's thoughts after 11 pages of other people. And the first thing he says is Hulkenberg is dead. The prince whom I hoped to make my stepping stone connect with Saraydnich. We never found out the secret to the ability that produced that tremendous rumbling. He didn't die of illness. He must have been assassinated. And right before the trial with Benjamin, it's obvious, but there won't be any proof. I'm not keen on it, but I must consider using the truth of his death as a starting point to instigate the general public into chaos. So before we continue on, we had mentioned last stream, what is Kurapika's plan? We're going to start seeing Kurapika's plan get into motion here. We see Kurapika already be like mass chaos. Let's cause a ruckus amongst the general public, which is very funny.
I think that line in particular, comboed with a later statement of his in the chapter, does kind of paint one of his potential goals here as like literally tearing down the cocky and royal family. Like, I don't know if he's planning to do it, but like he certainly has it on the table.
Mm-hmm.
And making that known, like, obviously this line is to himself, but like putting that possibility out there in front of a room full of personal guards in attendance to the potential next emperor
Mm-hmm.
is certainly a choice. Kurapika is
He's making money
he's playing
moves,
with
man.
fire.
Yeah, he's
Yeah, he's
rolling,
making
he's pulling
money
the damn
moves.
lever. He's pulling the damn lever, trying to get 3 sevens. Uh, so, uh, so next we have him say he was a deterrent for the higher princes and a symbol of hope for the lower princes. Just having his personal guards on the room produced the right amount of tension mixed with a sense of security. Now that it's gone, I want to stoke the uncertainty felt by the higher ranked princes, even if doing so increases risk, but no other prince would want to send more of their people to room 1014. So he's saying Hulkenberg held a very interesting role among the princes where he was kind of like this bridge between the older and the younger, and it helped both sides have that sense of security. And it's very interesting because now that he's gone and that sense of security gone, Kurapika isn't like, well, shucks, that sense of security's gone. What are we going to do now? He's instead like, let's take advantage of this as best we can.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take advantage of how we can abuse this sense of security being gone and everyone that he's gone now. It's just a very interesting angle once again for Kurapika to think in. So
Kurapika is incredibly pragmatic.
mm-hmm. I also like how I was thinking about this while reading the chapter. I like how basic Kurapika is drawn compared to everyone else because he's a character that's been in the series for so long. Back when it was a shonen where the main character looks like Astro Boy. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah.
now we got all these like very detailed, like not realistic, but like drawn in certain way characters where they look more. It doesn't look like a shonen as much, And we got Kurapika here
Yeah.
with his big old eyes. It's a very funny dichotomy. Anyway, so we have next we have a little panel of the second prince's captain of the guard looking at Kurapika just standing there. What could be going through her head right now? Who knows? But then we have the fourth prince's guards. We have a new character, but I don't think we've ever seen before. Gipper says, "I'm Gipper." Assigned to tier 1 to replace Borkson. Interesting. Is there anything to take note of for taking on Muhan's role? Okay, so there's a couple of characters mentioned here. Muhan was the asshole that died, the asshole that kept trying to egg Kurapika on,
Yeah.
who got killed by silent majority. Borkson, of course, What could Borkson be doing right now? Who knows? But Gipper has been assigned here to replace her as the one of the Fourth Prince's guards, which is interesting. Um, since Borkson's going through that whole shindig, and I'm wondering almost like Borkson, how long has Borkson been gone at this point for them to realize and them to send a replacement? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny that
Well,
saying that.
well, that's not a well. This was Borkson getting transferred back down to the lower levels because the Sari squad wanted
Oh,
information. Yeah,
yeah, you might be
that's
right.
what he's replacing her for now.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, you might be right. Okay, yeah, I think you're right. Um, but it's funny. Danjin uh, has been in the classes this whole time. He says, "Yeah, don't die. If more of us get killed, the prince won't stay silent, and he'll start blaming me. And just when his attention has been pulled away from me, so if you remember, Danjin was sent here with Muhan. Danjin was sent, and he was told by Zoradnik to bring back proof that he isn't being controlled once the classes are over. So, however, he can do that." uh, but yeah, he's saying to Gipper, who just showed up, he's saying, Please don't die." That's the only thing I ask of you." So, um, then Karapika goes, "We'll begin with 9 in the intro, 9 in the beginner." Um, we have a little bit more from some of the Six Queens maids on the 10th and 11th prince. We have Liz Lura. "I'd rather be here than keep taking the 6 bitches abuse." and then she vocally says, "I don't like it, but anything to help Six Queen Seiko." Just another lovely little moment.
Yeah.
uh, so we have her, and then we have the other one saying, "Let's work hard." And she's thinking in her head, "If I can really get superhuman powers, I'll be more useful for 11th Prince Fugetsu. I'll be able to fight too." So it's interesting to see her thinking from that angle of like, I'll be able to help out Fugetsu. Um, Not for like a lot of the characters that we've thought of seen so far have been very selfish in their aims, but she seems genuinely like she wants to help Fugetsu and even be able to fight. So kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Both of these characters completely new characters as well. So that's 3 new characters we've seen so far in this chapter.
Yep.
And then we have Naipei saying, "I'm scared. I don't want to do this. I want to go back to room 1013. I got bad news for you, Naipei. You can't go back there.
No
You're
one
out.
can go
You're
back
out,
there,
bud."
which is kind of funny to have him going from like debatably the safest single place on the ship to the to not the most unsafe, but like you know.
Yeah. Which Naipei is actually a new character as well. So that's 4 new characters in the chapter.
Yes.
Um, then we have Gitu. Gitu has been seen before, but just hasn't had any page time. He says to what's his name? The category guy. I forget his name already. There's so many damn names.
Satobi.
Satobi.
So
He
many
says
names. So many names.
he says to Satobi, "Just focus on learning. Then there's a misspell here. Excuse me. Leaning. Viz, come on. Viz. What the fuck?" Anyway, just focus on learning then, huh? And Toby says, "Yes, avoid going off on your own. Waiting it out is the way for us to safely and surely improve our status." So Satobi is very focused on improving his status. That's all he really cares about. And he kind of gets called out in Katu's head. He says, "You mean you, not us. The princes keep dying, and our target is a freaking baby. How long could this take? What idiot would pass up this chance? It's a path to a sure promotion." So Gatu is going to try to kill the baby. So that's Gatu's plan. Everybody's here to learn then, and he's here to kill a baby. So that's more power to him, I guess. At least he's thinking differently than most of the other people.
Yeah. Uh
I
Not that he
like,
stands much of a chance.
yeah, but I like how he's coming from the angle of so Toby's being selfish, where I'm being more like obviously he says it's a sure path to a promotion, but he's like, you're being selfish in that angle. I'm gonna do this more pragmatic thing that's still selfish and will still give me some good stuff, but it's he thinks in his
Doesn't
head,
it doesn't require any personal improvement.
yes, he thinks in his head, I don't got to work on this. Like I can just do this. It's an in and out. I can probably take it. Look how thin his beanpole Karapika is. What can he do? Um,
I could take a baby.
yes, it's nuclear bomb versus coughing baby. Which one's the baby in this example? We haven't seen Wobbles and NB, so we don't know. Um, so then we have a very vindicating comment from Karapika for me. He says in his head, if the snake charmer is among us and attacks another one of Saragnik's personal guards, we may go to court. Is there a slight possibility Saragnik would appear himself? Yes, I called. Obviously, Karapika's not planning on this. He's not using this to his advantage, but
In mind. And
w-
also a nice
yeah.
reminder, between this and the comment to about losing Hockenberg as a potential bridge to Saradnik, that Kurapika's own personal goals are still very much in his mind.
Mhm. Yeah. But it's just funny that he mentioned that. When I saw that line, I laughed because I had said last stream,
Yeah.
what if he doesn't plan to have it kill one of the guards? He's not planning it, but he is like, it would be nice. It would be nice if Town Majority killed one of his guards again. He might go to court. I'll be able to see him there. um. Anyway, he says he's splitting up the classes now. But before he can, we have Slaka, who says, "Can I say something?" Um, so this is Slaka, affiliated with Second Queen Duzal, and he wants to join the intro class. So Slaka is an interesting character. Um, he is a guard that is under control by two queens, kind of. He takes orders from both Second Queen Duzal and First Queen Unma. Um, and despite the fact that he takes orders from both of those queens, he's helping out with the third prince, who is, the son of the third queen, but they have an alliance with the second queen, the third prince, right now. So he's a very interesting character because he's affiliated with Second Queen Duzal, despite the fact that he was ordered here by the first queen and he's following her orders essentially. Um, Interesting character to keep your eyes on because we don't know what exactly his alliances are.
Yeah.
And it's kind of made clear here, as we have the other guards, the guards that are helping out Sanaga and Hashido, who are like, what is he doing? What the fuck is he
Mm-hmm.
doing? Why is he making a scene? So then the other guards are going, wait, you're affiliated with Queen Duzal, and so you're Camilla's guard? And he's like, no, I'm Zhang Lei's guard, but I was just stationed here to watch, but I want to join the class, essentially. And so now we have
Yeah.
all these characters in their head, like all of these them going, "What the fuck?" They're like, "This is unthinkable." We have the fourth prince's guard Danjin, thinking Zhang Lei, a watchdog for a lower ranked prince, left his post. That's unthinkable. The fifth prince's captain of the guard Mayor, saying if he's here monitoring to gain something, is he here monitoring something to gain? Is he here monitoring to gain something important? God, I can't say that fucking line. Apparently, if they're going to leave us out of the loop, we should reconsider the treaty. And then, of course, third prince is guard captain of the guard Sakata, saying, "You idiot! You're giving them unnecessary information. Is he trying to destroy the relationship we're trying to build?" And then he looks at Sakata and gives him like a smirk and a chuckle. Sakata says, he's bastard, he's doing this on purpose. And then we get to look into Slacko's head, and he says, and he looks annoyed, and he says, last time they took advantage of me being hands off and snuck around making backroom deals. If they're keeping this information of Nen that could sway the succession battle all to themselves, I ain't playing along with this we're all buddies charade. So this whole circumstance that is happening is because he was ordered here by one of the queens. And he, despite being affiliated with one of the princes, he's ordered here by a different queen who isn't even his direct queen. It's weird what's going on with him. But during the first classes, he kind of took a passive role and just watched. But he got annoyed by the fact that he was left out of all these backroom deals that are going on.
Yeah.
And so he's like, well, I'm going to throw a wrench into their plan. I'm going to purposely cause a bunch of confusion because they won't give me this information that he feels would be useful to him and whichever one of the queens that he's going to relay this information to, essentially.
Which I think the fact that he has his eggs in so many baskets is like part of what makes this gambit effective for him in a certain sense, because he is so interconnected with multiple groups right now. Him saying something like this out loud is like itself like pulling on a lot of strings at once, no matter what he does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I think he's an interesting character to watch because, like you said, he has so many, his hand is in so many different, places. We don't know what he's going to do, but we do know that because he has that benefit of having his, the eggs in so many different baskets, he can kind of make his power play a little bit and wave his power around a bit. But Kurapika immediately gets back into getting everything back on the rails. Kurapika says, some of you may notice he's here under special circumstances. That's definitely a way to put it. And he says, he's here to find out important information on Nen that could affect the results of the battle for succession. Now is as good a time as any for the announcement. I'd like to talk about it right here, right now. And so Sakata, who, they have a deal with Kurapika to kind of be buddies with them, besties in the background. He says, oh, hold on, that's not a good idea. And then Kurapika says, you were going to use that information to your advantage. Is that what you mean? I'm afraid it's not that kind of information. So everyone looks confused, and he says, my wording seems to have caused misunderstanding. I apologize. I'm sorry. It was possible to interpret what I meant, what I said to mean only the prince who had the information would benefit. Wait a minute, how are we supposed to take that? Allow me to explain. On the ship, we're in the middle of a succession battle to determine the next king of Kaken, an aberrant process where the sole survivor inherits the throne, which begs the basic question, why go to such lengths? And let me tell you how happy I was reading that. Because of my prediction last time, where we're going to see in these chapters, we're going to see Kurapika start to move on his plan, and we're going to see an explanation of this kind of Nen ritual that is happening with the Kaken Empire. And we're getting that in the first chapter. We're getting both of those in the first chapter. So basically, not only was I right, so I feel really smart, but also now I don't know what the fuck's going to happen in the rest of these chapters.
Right. I mean, also, did you notice Furikov turn on his earpiece?
Mm-hmm.
Because one thing that's worth noting is that none of this is... So this isn't Kurapika's knowledge. This isn't Kurapika. This isn't something that Kurapika has found out specifically. This is his best guess or interpretation of the Succession War, unless there was some information about it in that letter, which I don't imagine there being.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So this isn't fact. This is prediction. This is which means that it doesn't necessarily have to be Kurapika that discovered this. Presumably, any of the princes that already know Nen could have figured this out or could have reached a similar conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
But would they?
Yeah, and like you said, it's very interesting that we see Furikov turn on that earpiece or turn it off. I'm pretty sure he's turning it on, right? Um,
Yeah.
and the other thing that we notice in that panel, they make very it's the only panel without words on the page. But we have two panels without words on the page, and it's one where it's Babimya being very confused, which is fine. But then we have that one where Furikov's turning on his earpiece, and we see Bellariante making note of that. He notices Furikov turning on the earpiece. Why is that drawn to our attention? Who knows?
Yeah. And so what I'm thinking right now is that we saw, specifically in the last batch of chapters right at the end, Benjamin making huge moves, presumably because something happened to him and he now knows he is going to die.
Mhm.
But is it possible that this conversation is what sparked all that and not an assassination attempt?
Yeah, I mean it's very possible. We do know that Benjamin for sure believes he's going to die. Um, but Benjamin's assumption of I'll have to kill the rest of my siblings, get my father's like right to be the next king, so that my son can take over as prince before I die. Like, is that informed by this assumption that Kurapika has made? Not sure.
I don't know. I think there is a possibility, and I'm not going to say it for sure, but one possibility that came to mind is that Benjamin and Hawkenberg have done the exact same thing,
Hmm.
where they have both killed themselves with the same poison
Yeah, yeah, in a way, for sure.
in a bid to end the succession war on their terms.
In a way,
I'm
that
I'm
is
not
that is
saying
true.
that's I'm not saying that's for sure what's happened.
Yeah, no, I think Benjamin definitely got attacked. But I think that's a very interesting way to look at it. But
I'm saying that I'm not after this chapter, I'm not convinced that Benjamin got attacked. I think he did this to himself. Maybe.
I think it's a crazy way to look at it because even if with this information that we're about to receive here, you would still think like, oh, I can just like he could have just faked it.
Nah,
You know what
I'd
I mean?
win.
He could have just faked it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And still like activated martial law and pretended. But in his head, he very clearly thinks that he's going to die. So, in my opinion, that means that he didn't do it to himself. But we didn't see it directly happening. So, who knows? Um, but yeah,
I know. I've decided.
but yeah, that's a very interesting panel. I mean, we literally just spent like 5 minutes talking about this panel with no words on it and a thing full of words. It's just to me, it's very interesting that we have him turning on the earpiece and Bellirante noticing. Why is our attention
Yeah,
drawn to that? You know.
that's actually kind of something I didn't specifically think about until I read through it again.
Hmm. It's interesting. I also like to see how much smaller Babimiya is than them because you can see his hair, like the top of his hair at the
I
bottom of that
forgot I
panel.
didn't even realize he's in that part.
He's so much shorter
Oh
than both of
god.
them. It's very
Any
funny.
size difference fans in this arc, they are eating.
Yes, I mean some of the guys are like huge. Like I'm actually gonna go back a few pages to like the full shot. Like some of them are so tall compared to the other people. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, okay. Anyway, going back, so we finally get Kurapika explaining his assumption of how the Kakin Empire's Nen thing goes. So we have him saying the basic question is why go to such lengths? The cause they're fighting for, needless to say, is for the prosperity of a nation. Kakin, a king to lead more than 1 billion people. The ritual to facilitate this decision has a more than adequate mandate to go to such lengths. And then further maximize the results and validated the ritual. That's how it all began. The use of a Nen ability with its vows and limitations empowered the leadership of the next king. Because they triumphed through such a brutal competition, it virtually guaranteed prosperity for the next generation. Nen is that powerful. When I say vows and limitations, this is a key aspect of Nen. When Nen is brought to bear using strict rules that put people at great risk, the power of the effect is multiplied exponentially. The act of sacrificing the lives of kin down to a single successor demonstrates considerable determination and carries the risk of wiping out the entire clan. And that's the level of determination required to demonstrate the intent of going through with the ritual. We've only reached the second phase of the process. So basically what Kurapika is saying here is he's explaining vows and limitations to a lot of these people who don't know Nen and don't know that this is a thing. And also to some of the people
Yeah.
who do know Nen, because this isn't a concept that's widely known amongst Nen users, except for like really experienced ones. About vows and limitations and stuff. So it's an interesting. Basically, he's outlaying this whole ritual that we're a part of has layers of vows and limitations on it, so that it gives the next king a bunch of prosperity and guarantees that the next king is successful in their reign, essentially. Which is very interesting. I mean, like he says, Nen is that powerful. Like Nen is crazy power. It can do pretty much anything if the right rules and limitations are put on it. And that's kind of something that, like thinking about it, Nen is a power system. Like everybody always glazes Nen, and it's because it's a very good power system. But it's like
Yeah.
Nen can do anything, despite the fact that it is such a rigid and like balanced, focused power system. It can literally do anything, given the
Yeah.
right like rules and stipulations. So it's very cool. So moving on, there are 4 phases of the ritual which, powered by Nen, make up the battle for succession. The first phase is dedication and prayer to the gods, which is praying for the national prosperity and pledge a vow. Second phase, which is the one we're in, is making an offering to the gods, which is sacrificing the lives of kin as testament to their commitment. The third phase is celebration of the spirits of the dead, which is going to be gathering together the bodies of the princes who died and form a sacred energy convergence, which we've seen some panels of. Where that's going to be, basically. And the fourth phase is theocracy, the unity of state, sacrifice, and governance, with the massive power granted to administer the affairs of state. So that fourth phase is going to come after this is all over, essentially. So basically, these are the steps that are outlining this ritual. The second and third phase are going to happen on the boat, essentially, if it goes that far. We're in the second phase right now.
Mm-hmm.
Karapika says, it's critical that the succession proceed the way it does. Without these risks, the new leadership would lack the necessary power for governance, meaning sufficient Nen to maintain the spirit beast of a king worthy of leading the people of Kakin. This is very interesting. He says, it wouldn't have sufficient Nen to maintain the spirit beast of a king worthy of leading the people of Kakin. The thought that I had is, would the remaining prince, if the remaining prince is alive, would they lose their spirit beast? Or would it remain as it is? It just would be more powerful if they were to have won the contest.
I'm leaning towards they would keep it, but it would gain more or would be more powerful because we saw Nasabi with his.
Mm-hmm. Right. I. It's.
And based on what
Mm-hmm.
he said before, like that the spirit beasts, like Benjamin's spirit beast, is one fit for a king.
Mm-hmm.
That does make me feel like it would still be the same spirit beast afterwards.
Okay. Interesting. I think it would be like the same spirit beast, but yeah, like you said, might be powered up if they were to succeed. Um, so this limitation is the important information that will affect the results of the battle for succession. It will take 2 months for the Blackwell to arrive in the new continent, and 12 days have passed. We have a month and a half left. Just a reminder for all the readers here. We've been 10 years in this arc. We're at the 25% point, essentially. Just as a reminder for everyone.
25%.
Not even, more like 20%, or somewhere closer to that, but yeah. It's fun. The ceremony in which the current king will formally announce which prince will succeed him is scheduled for right after we disembark. The deadline for resolving the succession battle is the end of the voyage. Determining the successor within that time is non-negotiable. If there is no sole survivor by the deadline and the ritual fails to be completed, the Hugaro family will fall from power. Interesting. The Hugaro family will fall from power. And he explains this kind of more as we go on. But I want to pause here just for a moment to say, man, One Piece could fucking never show all of its characters' reactions in a tiny little space like that. I was like, damn, that's so efficient, showing all their reactions just like that, like, brrr, like immediately in that short little thing. And it's so funny because he takes so much time to put words, like sometimes even covering over the art, and then like here's some of the reaction faces, and it's like, like a line of reaction faces at the tiny little line of reaction faces at the bottom of the panel. It was very funny. Um, so continuing on, as he explains this more. Fall from power, a change of dictate. I mean government. Okay, buddy. We get it, buddy. We get it, 10th Story. You're not the smartest tool in the shed. As he almost does a faux pas, some might say. And then Karapika explains the ability to adapt through the ages and manipulate the masses are enhanced by Nen. Without this, it would be inevitable. So he's saying a king can't rule a country without Nen, or at least a king can't rule a billion people without it, and like not have constant fighting and all that shenanigans. Miura speaks up of the Fifth Prince again. Wouldn't the risk be greater if failing to meet the deadline resulted in everyone's death instead? Why a fall from power and not annihilation? Karapika explains. The concept of a sole survivor already fulfills the vow to put lives on the line. Depriving all choices during the ritual would be enforcement. That's the opposite of a Nen limitation. A choice must be left open for them to not carry out the ritual to completion. It's part of the risk that more than one prince is allowed to survive. Leaving this avenue for the weaker participants puts the ritual itself in a vulnerable position. The risk that the ruler may fall to ruin is hidden in the time limit. So very interesting, because we had speculated, if they fail this ritual, would they all just die? Karapika says no, because that's already the point of the ritual itself. They're killing each other. That's the point, is death. So them failing to do it and dying wouldn't do anything, because that's already what they're trying to do in the ritual anyway. Instead, they just fall from power, which is a very interesting way to look at it. Like they're just going to essentially, maybe not immediately, but like over time, over their reign, they're going to lose power, and either the kingdom's going to break up, or it's going to be ruled by somebody else, that kind of thing.
Yeah. I've got some thoughts thematically on this that I'm gonna wait till we get to the last page on.
Mm-hmm. So then we have
I've been
Furikov.
chewing on this.
Mm-hmm. Then we have Furikov saying, "You're bringing this up. You're basically egging us on." He's saying this in his head. You're bringing this up. You're basically egging us on to hurry up and kill those lower princes. And everyone's muttering between themselves. And Kurapika says, "And one more thing. like a Nintendo Direct.
One more thing.
I'll have another crucial announcement. 14th Prince Wilbur is not eligible for the succession battle. And we see a very interesting shot of Oito with her back turned to Bobo and her eyes wide open. Uh, could mean a few things. Could mean Bobo is, Oito is currently thinking about things right now, or it could also mean that she is in possession of some kind of Nen power, because we've seen that before, where she like lost her sight when she controlled the other Nen power. That was the one that had her controlling the cockroach. So what's going on there? Is she just thinking very seriously about things, about the fact that Kurapika is about to announce this, or is she in control of something right now?
Yeah. Because it would make sense if she's developed a Nen power that it would end up being something similar to the one that she got gifted, just
Mm-hmm.
because she already has bodily experience using that one.
Mm-hmm. So that's the end of the chapter. To be continued. We're coming back next
Yeah.
time. Uh, First off, wonderful chapter. We love this chapter, folks, ladies and gentlemen.
Really good. Really dense. Really interesting.
I'm surprised.
So much good stuff.
Yeah, I'm surprised that all the characters we did see and all the characters we didn't see. Um, it's interesting that I want to mention some characters we didn't see. We didn't see Shimano, which is the she is the maid that like knows a lot of stuff about all the princes that Kurapika keeps asking advice for.
Yeah.
She's the only living maid in Wilbel's quarters. So it's interesting we didn't see like her in the room when we saw like the cut of like Bill in the room and that kind of thing. Um,
Mm-hmm.
there were a couple other, like mostly a lot of the guards that we did see are returning characters. With we said there's 4 new characters, which is funny. He can't help himself. Just throwing more new characters in.
Cannot help himself.
But a lot of the characters you saw are returning. At least if we didn't see them talk before, we did see their face on a page and their name.
Yeah.
So we do know them mostly. And a lot of interesting characters having their interactions here. So it felt like a good mix of the new and old, and characters we haven't really gotten a lot of time with and stuff. So
Yeah.
well, I'm very happy to have seen, like I said, my favorite pages of the chapter were the ones where it was just going through all these characters and seeing how they think, how they act with each other, how they truly think, how they think the prince slash queen that they're serving really thinks, and so on and so forth. Wonderful panels.
Yeah.
Um,
I think this is a fantastic chapter. It is definitely a everyone stands around in a circle and talks chapter, but it's a really good circle and a really good talk.
yes.
I, in particular, like the dynamic of the succession war explanation versus this like go around the room and get everybody's opinions for a little bit, because at any moment, part of what the so okay, let me gather my
Yeah.
thoughts. I want to say this
Yeah.
kind of
Uh,
coherently.
mhm.
So Kurapika right now is hosting a third Nen ritual, kind of. Like he is.
Okay.
It's not literally a Nen ritual in the fact that he has like, in the same way that Morena's contagion or the succession war are Nen rituals. But what he is doing right here is like a third one of those. Like you have the succession war, you have contagion, and you have the Nen classes. And what all of these do is it takes people that otherwise, in the setting of Hunter x Hunter, would be really difficult for them to be a major player because they don't have Nen, and allows any of them in a relatively small amount of time to become potentially the most important player on the board.
Mm-hmm.
All three of these things are kind of doing the same thing.
For sure.
For different purposes,
Yeah.
obviously. Morena's wants to destroy everything.
Mm-hmm.
Right? She wants to kind of give the people that have been thrown away and at the margins of society to amass enough power to where together they can set off a chain reaction that will destroy everything. The Succession War wants to take the most important people at the top, make them battle it out for dominance, and kind of use everything at their disposal to kind of like pull and take into themselves and amass power until you have one ultimate ruler that cannot be dethroned.
Mm-hmm.
And Kurapika's Nen classes are about taking some people that are already powerful, some people that kind of have nothing, but just kind of like taking an eclectic group of people, not really worrying too much about who they are and what their goals are, and then granting them power, enough power to where everyone is as on close of an equal playing field as they can, which creates a situation that will prevent further bloodshed, hopefully. And I think that that is saying something.
Mm-hmm. So what does it say?
So I think it is. I think it is saying, especially in the way that the Succession War works, is for the people on the top, losing any of their power or influence is a fate worse than death.
Okay.
As evidenced by the fact that the like implied failure for not completing the Succession War is not death, but just losing your power. Either instantly or just slowly over time. That is treated as a fate worse than death by the Succession War.
Okay. Interesting.
And B
Mm-hmm.
is that I lost it. Give me a second. Give me a second. So it's saying that losing your power is a fate worse than death. And the other thing it's saying is that in order for these words are kind of interchangeable, but like monarchy, empire, dictatorship, and like the chapter itself is kind of using them as interchangeable. Especially with that line of the from 1030. You mean the dictator? I mean royal family? I mean, is that the only way for that type of government to sustain itself is through incredible amounts of extraction and amassing of power. Like, it takes massive amounts to maintain a dictatorship. Like, just massive amounts of power, because it is, I mean, like, taking, like, just from how they work, is like, it is a massive expenditure of resources to maintain absolute power. And the Succession War, with all of its everything going on, is kind of an illustration of the way that in order to keep something like that going, especially for a long time, just massive amounts of resources have to be poured into the top to even like maintain it, let alone grow it.
Okay. And I think, see, I had a thought midway through your thing, but then I forgot it, so I'll listen to you.
Okay.
I had a thought midway through about, it was about the, when you said, like the lengths they're willing to go through, and like the fact that, a dictator, the royal government,
Yeah.
we've definitely already seen examples of that in, the Morena chapters, where it was like, yeah, they're horrible people. The carnivals that happen every year, they just choose a city in the empire somewhere and they go there and they do horrible things. We already know for sure that Nasubi is like a horrible person, and like we don't even know his true. He seems, with his conversation with Hulkenberg, he seems invested in actually finding a successor, but we don't know what his true motivation is. The fact that, the coffin room has 14 coffins. What's the deal with that, Like that kind of thing. Like we know he's a very horrible, horrible person. And we don't know, like, could could there be some kind of thing where it's like he's trying to extend his life in some way, or like because he is a dictator. Um, is
Yeah.
he trying to extend his life in some way? Is he trying to, like, does he really care about his children, or is he going to, like, essentially move his consciousness into his children's body, maybe? Or, this is going back even further when they mentioned the original, what is it? The original founder of the Hugaro family, where it was like they mentioned him in passing. They're like, he was the one who founded it and started the seed urn ceremony. Maybe the original founder of the family's just been going down each generation, going down like through the family, and he's been inheriting each
Oh
body.
yeah, like it's possible that Nasubi Huidoro is not a character and has not been for decades and decades.
Yes, and that he's been possessed by him, and like in that form he would be the ultimate dictator of this empire because he would have been ruling it from the start, essentially. And so maybe that might be the point of the ritualist, so that he can move himself onto the next body, essentially. Like, and that's why Nasubi seems so invested in his children, like, doing this, because at the end maybe Nasubi's body does die, but that's just a way for him to pass his consciousness on to the next one. So I don't know.
Yeah.
That's just something that had been cooking in my head, where it's like, are we sure Nasubi really cares about this contest? And I think it ties into what you were saying about like that dictatorship, where it's like they consolidate everything up to the top, and it's like, where does the buck stop? Does it stop at the princes and the queens and stuff, or does it stop at the king himself?
Yeah.
So, if that made sense, I don't know. It was a bit rambly.
It makes sense. I think it's a point worth noting. And I think especially with some of the stuff we talked about in our last stream, I think that is an angle that if Tadashi is going there would make a lot of sense.
Yeah, that was something that I just thought about the other day, because I was thinking, okay, all the Hugaro family, we've seen all of them except for the mention of that ancestor who started the Cedar and ceremony. That's the only one that we haven't like seen anything on. And presumably it's because, he's an ancestor from hundreds of years ago or something like that. But it was just something, a thought that I had, where it was like, they have all these family members, and then there's this unnamed ancestor. So like maybe, I don't know, That was the only other family member mentioned that we haven't seen anything on. So I don't know. That's just a theory. I guess that theory came out when we were talking about this, but
Yeah,
oops, oops, accidental. Oh, your theory's showing.
yeah. Oh, and you did remind me about my third point that I was going for. Rule of
Mhm.
threes,
Yep.
and it's that specifically in reference to the carnivals is that what the succession war represents is that that never-ending drive to focus all the power possible within the top upper ranks creates this sense of extraction for everything below it. And I'm not saying that the carnivals are rituals to obtain power in the same sense that the succession war is,
Hmm.
but it's that the succession war itself for the rulers creates the kind of conditions for them to view everything in the country as meat, essentially, as something to be processed and consumed and consolidated for your own power and pleasure. It was even if you go back to the conversation between Nasabi and Hockenberg,
Hmm.
he's like, what's the most important thing? The country, not the people of the country,
Yeah.
not even the king, but he says the country, implying that any amount of people in that country are less important than the country itself,
Hmm.
which makes sense when you think about how they literally go and consume entire villages worth of people for fun.
Okay. Interesting. Interesting rule of three you had there. I
Yeah.
do like that final angle though, because it does like give some credence to like how Nasubi thinks on this all this stuff that's happening, What is it's something that I feel like we need, like you mentioned, we need another scene with Nasubi, him talking with somebody else. So I would
Yeah.
love to see more
Him
about
talking
this
with somebody
character.
other than one of his children.
Yeah. I'd love to see more of his ideas and his philosophies surrounding this kind of stuff. But for now we can just speculate that what his intentions are.
Yeah.
But
Um
yeah.
yeah, what else do you have to say? I have another couple of points I want to bring up, but they're disconnected, so
I was gonna say
I've been
mine
talking a lot
was
if you want to.
mine was disconnected too. I was just gonna say, what do we just think that this announcement about Wobble is going to be from the note, like something involved with the note that he was sent, or like what do we think this announcement is? This going to be like a lie? Because my thought is, if he's saying 14th Prince Wobble is not eligible for the succession battle, the first thing that all the other people in the room are going to want to see is proof, especially after he just said you need to kill all the princes but your own for this thing to succeed, you know. And then he's saying, well, he doesn't count. Like they're gonna immediately want some kind of proof. So what proof does Karapika have to support this essentially?
Oh yeah.
And but my only
Oh,
thought is that
I
note. But I don't
yeah,
know if
that
that's
letter.
I don't know if that's gonna be proof or something.
That's true. I honestly hadn't even thought of that. How was he going to prove it? Um, so another thing I'd forgotten to mention is that part of the reason I don't think any of the existing princes that already know about Nen would have come to this same conclusion as Karapika is because I don't think any of them could literally have conceived of an ending where the royal family doesn't exist anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even if Hockenberg knew about Nen, I don't know if he would have come to this conclusion. Like, I think it really did take an outsider who was perfectly fine with the royal family not existing anymore to come to that conclusion about how the succession war works.
Yeah, I think that's
Another kind of
true.
another kind of disconnected point is that I really want to see more of, and now it looks like we probably won't get much of it, but I do want to see more of Benjamin's interactions with his own guards. Because so far we've pretty much only seen him talk with Basamilko
Mm-hmm.
directly for the
Yeah.
most part, and we've seen some of his guards talk to each other. But like specifically, like that line was probably a joke when he said, "Oh, the prince thinks you need it." Like that was
Yeah.
probably a joke, right?
Yeah.
But like, what if he wasn't? Like, I want to see Benjamin's conversations with Furikov
Well, and something that
and the other guy.
we've been told and haven't been shown as much is that Benjamin considers them kind of almost like a found family a bit. Not maybe not entirely
Yeah, like
like, jovial with your brothers or something like that, but at least in a sense he considers them a bit of a found family, so
yeah, like he does legitimately care for them, and I really want to see some of those interactions. Right? I I really want to hear Benjamin say to what's the short guy's name? Well, short compared to Furikov. Why do I always forget his
Bobby
time?
Mina. It's because it's a difficult name. It's Bobby My Na. Bobby Mina. Bobby Mina.
Okay, so baby. So I want to see Benjamin say to baby, yeah, Furikov could probably go for some of those beginner Nen classes. I I I don't think Benjamin actually said that, but I really want to hear him say it.
I forgot. When
The
did
thought of that
Furikov
is
get
so
that
funny to
like
me.
band-aid on his head? I forget. I'm gonna look this up actually. Uh, um, I don't see where it is. I did forget Furikov was the one that like can tell people's Nen type from looking at their aura. That's what I forgot that about him as well. Uh, oh, he got shot in the head by Camilla. That's what it was. That's funny.
Yeah, I really like Furikov.
I do as well. I think he's like I said, he's a very analytical character. He's not the he's not Benjamin's most analytical soldier. We'll say that much.
Yeah,
We'll see if we get a Rihan a Rihan chapter this time, but
yeah, we'll see.
but he is very analytical, and I think he's an asshole. But he, like I said, he has his head screwed on straight. Where he's not like that other
Yeah,
guy that came in, Vincent, I think, who died immediately because he was a pure asshole. Um, yeah, I do like a lot of the Benjamin guys that we've seen stuff from.
Yeah,
Like they all seem very I don't know, I want to say like grounded, but they all seem very like they know what they understand the assignment, I guess you could say, if I wanted to sound like a millennial,
yeah,
like a true millennial. most of
he
them
understood the assignment.
most of them aren't dickheads. Like even the ones that have died. I'm trying to think of the card guy and then the bird guy who both died.
Yeah, I mean, some of them are definitely really stupid. Like
Oh,
there
for
was the
sure.
one who basically just tried to, from the word go, just
Yeah, that's
instantly mark Noble Wobble.
yeah, that's Vincent. That's what that's talking about. The one that Furikov came to replace. Uh, yeah, but other than him, I think most of the other ones we've seen have been level-headed ish. Uh, and then there's that one got that other one that got possessed by because two got possessed by Hulkenberg's people, right? Two different ones.
Yeah, because they're the one with the Yu-Gi-Oh and then the one with the tackle with the tackle ability.
Yeah, and then there's the one that killed Sale Sale after Rihan killed its Nenbis. That's a different one as well. Because I remember because his Nen ability is literally called "How to Get Away with Murder."
Oh yeah, that's right. I actually forgot. I was
Yushohi was his name. Nen ability "How to Get Away
yeah,
with
Yushohi.
Murders."
I was actually thinking about him specifically because he's one of my predictions for what's happening to Prince Fudetsu.
Okay. Yeah, because it starts by summoning a Stinger Ball, which he assigns a target. After an incubation period, the ability kills the target through unknown means. So yeah. I don't think we're gonna see Rihan in this batch of chapters, but I would be hyped if I did see a Rihan chapter. Just because
Yeah.
Rihan's
I mean,
on
it's
Tubepa right now, so
yeah.
I mean he has like one of the coolest Nen abilities of the whole series, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Um but yeah, it was did you say you had other we're kind of getting off track here. Did you say you had other thoughts, tribulation stuff?
Other assorted thoughts. Let's see. There was the stuff with Benjamin and his guards. I would like to see one of the maids in particular. I don't know who, but like I feel like one of the maids becoming a major player once their Nen ability, once they like have a Nen ability, is something that I can definitely see happening. It's something that I think I would like.
Well, we got Sarah Hell right there.
Oh yeah, that's right. And speaking of
She's
Sarah
not
Hell,
actually a
another thing is
maid.
I'm really excited to see more of her. I think
Yes.
her and the Have-Nots are such a I think important part of especially what this arc is going to end up wanting to say. And I'm really excited to see more of her in particular.
Hmm. Did you like we? So the one that was hoping the maid that was hoping to get power was Ton Easter. She's hoping to get power to help out Fugetsu so she can fight. So there you go. There's your major player maid that's coming up. Ton Easter.
Yeah, exactly. I am, of course, that actually is one of the ones I was thinking of. I am, of course, biased in the fact that Fudetsu and Kachu are probably my single favorite aspect of the arc, just because I really like those two.
I think they had
Um,
one of the best chapters in the arc. That's for sure.
yeah. Oh God, and there's so much good stuff in this arc. I still want all the stuff with the spiders. Oh, Nobunaga, I love you so much. We haven't seen any Machi in ages.
I mean, we haven't seen most of the spiders in ages. Yeah, we just had the
Yeah,
fucking
Franklin's.
three musketeers.
How
Three
many
musketeers came
meals a
through.
day do you think Franklin is putting away?
I was thinking about the fact that Franklin was sitting down there and he was like contacted by one of the mafia members who like got up and tried to like recruit him, and he was like, "Just fuck off." Like the mafia was talking about like the world, they're like, "We're already working with some of your friends," and blah blah blah, and he's like, "Leave me alone, please." His ass was like, "I am staying here. I'm fighting Hisoka on my terms, or not at all." But yeah, we haven't seen
Uh,
most of the troop besides the Three Musketeers and Krollo. So
and Benolanov.
we did see a bit of it all. So we have seen a bit of well, around half of them recently.
Yeah, I think right now the only ones that we haven't is Machi the only one we haven't seen anything of.
We just saw her running into Krollo towards the beginning, and her saying like, "I'm gonna kill him, so stay at the fuck out of my way." That was basically all we've seen of her.
Yeah. So I think she's the one we've seen the least of.
Yeah, I do think you're right. Um, I think so. I guess what are your predictions for next chapter? Yeah, any? What are we gonna see next chapter?
Um, I think I think next chapter is going to start out with a little bit more Karapika. I think
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna get the explanation of this.
Yeah.
And then we're just gonna have to sit on that while it goes somewhere else.
I think that we're gonna see everybody in the room's reaction to the martial law next chapter.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Because
I
in
forget.
at the end of 410, we were 40 minutes into the martial law. And this is before the martial law happened, so
Yeah,
we're
because
gonna catch up.
martial law happens at the end of the funeral, right?
Yes,
Or
I
a little
think
bit after.
yeah, a little bit after the shoot. So I think if I was a betting man, we're gonna see more Kurapika, like you said, he's gonna explain what he's talking about here. We're going to see some martial law reactions, and I don't know if we're going to have time to go anywhere or not. But if we do, then where do I bet we're going to go? Hmm. After martial law gets initiated, when we see everyone's reactions, I think we're not going to see like the 40 minutes of whatever's going to happen in the room. We're going to see everyone's reactions and some stuff's going to happen, and then we're going to cut away maybe. And the next thing we're going to see is we're going to cut straight to Leorio, baby. And it's going to be Leorio's turn. Here he goes in the arc because he's acting in the martial law and they're
Leorio.
acting in the the stuff. Ooh, one thing I did want to mention since last time we talked, I was looking the pathogen, the sickness thing that has had infected Hulkenberg and has now infected Benjamin. It was stipulated in the thing that it has a very high mutation rate with mutations that go and very often will mutate in a way that makes it spread more. And immediately the first thing I thought was, well, here's Leorio's ticket into the arc, you know.
Oh yeah.
If it starts spreading to other people, could be a way that it happens.
Could be.
But that's a very could. That's just another theory to add to the pile.
Another theory of how Leorio gets involved and survives.
I want Leora to finally get involved in this arc and live.
Let's see. So we've been knowing for a little while now. How are we
Oh,
looking on time?
we're about 2 hours in. We're at 2 hours.
2 hours in. Yeah.
And I mean, we got our predictions for next chapter and stuff. I mean, is there anything else you think that we've left on the table here that we might?
I think even if there's anything I haven't specifically brought up, I'm sure it'll come up later to the point where I'm fine kind of leaving it for now.
Okay.
All in all, really good chapter. I'm so excited for more Hunter x Hunter. I am
Yeah, of course.
beyond jazzercised.
These next 2 to 3 months. Sorry, it'll be very good. Ooh, I guess one thing that I think of. Do you think this information that Kurapika got about Wobble is true or not? Do you think he's lying about them not being applicable for the succession battle, or do you think he's telling the truth?
I think the information he received or has figured out is true, but I do not think that means Wobble is not eligible for the succession battle.
That's kind of where I'm at as well. I think the information he received is something maybe related to Beyond, even like it's Beyond's kid or something, which would be surprising, but maybe that. But I think that it doesn't disqualify them from the succession battle, but Kurapika is going to try to twist it in a way that makes it seem like it does. So he'll try to get them off their back, and I don't think it's going to work necessarily. I think
Yeah.
like the Benjamin soldiers, I think are not going to care. I think a couple of the other people are just not going to care. Camilla's lady, Sarah Hell, is not going to care.
Yeah, because I think, like, for her, it'll be like, okay, well, they're still probably going to try to save the baby anyway, so that'll still flush out the Exorcist, so win-win.
Pretty much. Yeah. That's the only thing I was thinking of, I think. Nothing else.
Yeah, I can even see, like, thematically where they might be going with this. I can see, like, some ideas of, like, a lot of these like strictly hierarchical power structures are really horny for the idea of like direct lineages and such, but the power structures themselves don't actually care about that. The power structures just care about maintaining themselves. So trying to get Wobble out of danger in a bid to say he isn't or Wobble isn't actually related is like a fool's errand. Because all the power structure cares about is maintaining itself. I can kind of see something like that going on.
Yeah. So I'm just getting word in as well. The current time, quote unquote, current time at the end of 410 was 5 hours after this chapter. 5 hours later. So I do think there'll be a bit of a skip, but we'll still be on the class. I think we'll be in the class for this revelation from Karapika. I think there'll be a bit of a skip,
Yeah,
but we'll still be in the class when the martial law thing happens. The question is, will there be stuff in between? Will we see some of like the Cacho Melody Kaiser plan to kidnap Luzerus or not?
that's true. Because
Because that's the
I'm
only other thing
thinking,
I could see happen. especially because losers is missing. If it goes into them doing their stuff, and when we get back into the real time, it shows them fucking killing losers or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
I will say, how do we think Fudetsu feels about murder?
well, in her current state, I think she'd be fine with it.
She's like, murder? Oh, well, if it can help you, Kacho, okay.
Like she's a little deranged right now.
I can see that. I can also see, it also just occurred to me that because their plan is to have the escape kill Loserus, that Fudetsu could get involved in the plan without knowing that they're killing Loserus.
That's true. It's something as well like this interesting. Lucerus's Nen Beast. We don't know anything about it, but we have been given the hint, quote unquote. It described at one point that the Nen Beast lures people in with what they want and then tricks them, and that's all we
Yeah.
know.
Which
So like
also which also lines up with what's happening to Fudetsu right now.
maybe.
I
Uh,
don't know when. There's also the fact that, like, there's the fact that the Nen Beasts don't act directly on other princes.
mhm. Yeah,
And the fact that we don't know when this would have happened because we don't know for sure how close the Nen Beast will always
yeah.
stick to the person. And so the only time that could have come up is after, or the only time we know that could have come up is after after the letters thing happened, or when the letter thing happened, but that was after Fudetsu was already on the ropes.
Hmm. My thought process is
But the
just
fact that
no go on.
Oh, I was just saying, but like the fact that like how it works lines up so well with what Fudetsu is seeing right now. Like I think makes it kind of likely.
Mm, okay. Yeah, and I think
Also, the fact that both of their spirit beasts are kind of worm based.
and I think that's a theory that a lot of people had talked about was what if it's Lucerus's thing having, the effect on her, and obviously that's what our characters are coming into to and believe is happening to her is something involving Lucerus. That's why they're trying to kill him. Um, my thought process is, what if Lucerus's Nen Beast hasn't done anything yet? Um, and he's being put up, as a scapegoat essentially, or some kind of excuse. And when they go to capture him or whatever, the Nen Beast then activates in a certain way and like does something to them at that point. That's where I'm thinking
Oh yeah,
something's gonna happen. But I don't know. I think we're definitely gonna see that plan come into fruition in these 10 chapters though. Whatever's happening with Lucerus and them. And
yeah,
whether or not Lucerus is gonna die or maybe be like an ally or something, we don't know. Who knows?
yeah, yeah. One thing worth noting is that we haven't seen any of the spirit beasts. So, like, so far, the only two people that have tried to run away have had really passive spirit beasts. Uh, Fudetsu's is literally just a Nen ability, it feels like. It doesn't seem to have a physical form.
Well, no, we saw its physical
And
form when
Kacho's.
the all the Nen beasts, like, you remember the Nen beast explosion or whatever that happened at the beginning, where all the Wobbles guards were standing there and like all the Nen beasts came out. That worm that was like snaking through the walls was Kacho's Nen beast, or not Kacho, Fugetsu's Nen beast, I believe.
Oh, was it?
Yes, I believe that was supposed to be her Nen beast. I could be
Uh,
wrong, but because that shows a lot of the early Nen beasts in that panel as well, and like it was some of the other Nen beasts as well that didn't materialize like not like material, but like change their forms later as well. So a lot of them change their form. Let me see if I can see that
Remember what
panel.
chapter that was?
I'm trying to find it.
Um, the Guardian Spirit Beast. So we have chapter 349. Chapter 349. Let's go to a less than reputable website.
Less than a reputable website.
If they showed it in this chapter or not. No, this is just like the cedar and ceremony, and it shows Big Papa's Nen Beast. Um, let's see. Trying to see the next 350. I don't see it yet. That's when they're introducing those people. And 351. Nope. This is a detour. Let's go to 360. That's the Hisoka versus Krolov. 360. Might be on the money here. Yep, 360. So we see Momose's beast, we see Tyson's beast, we see Miriam's dragon, like in its early stage. We see the worm snaking through the
Oh
ceiling.
yeah, that's right.
We see a bunch of jellyfish, which I don't know whose those are. Who the fuck would those be? Like actually. Like maybe Camilla's? In an early stage, but there's like a bunch of them. Yeah, I actually don't recognize this at all. But the worm that's going through the ceiling, I'm pretty sure, is supposed to be their Nen Beast in chapter 360. Unless that's supposed to be Camilla's weight. It kind of looks like it. Kind of has a similar, like, booby things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wait, you know what it could be? Let's look at the. If we look at the floor plan for the princes, those might just have been the ones that were nearby.
Uh,
Because we did a floor plan at once, right? Like
we
what princes
did.
were next to each other.
We did. Part of Tier 1's floor plan. I did find part of it. Let's see, reception, princess quarters. Let's say which ones. It doesn't have them labeled here. What plan of the prince's living quarters? That's not what I want. Here we go. Floor plan of Tier 1. Showing sensory. Showing where the princes are located. So Wobble's on the end, though. That's the thing. Let's do 12 and 13, which we saw both of them in there. This is Tyson number 6. For sure, Tyson's things are in there. The little fucking things
Yeah.
that come out of the ass of her thing. So I don't know what the jellyfish are for sure, and I don't know what the worm is for sure. Those are the two that I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure the worm is supposed to be theirs, though. And then the jellyfish, I have
Yeah.
no
Since
fucking idea.
her. I mean, it is called magical worm. Okay. Because what I was thinking of was, so we haven't seen anybody. The only two people who have tried to leave have had spirit beasts that aren't like active. So like, how would say like Benjamins or uh Hawkenbirds, how would their beast reacted if they tried to leave? Would they have stopped them before they got far enough to actually kill themselves?
The Nen Beast itself, you mean? Like, would it have
Yeah,
prevented them?
yeah. Like if the
Hmm.
Nen beast was stronger, would it have stopped them? How would it have reacted? And that's what makes me curious for their plan with Loserus.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure. It looks like nobody knows for certain what the worm or the jellyfish are actually, so it's uncertain. But yeah, I get what you're saying. I think it's because, like you said, it is their plan to kill him with the power. So will that let it happen, even though he's not, you know, the Nen beasts? Because the Nen beast isn't supposed to target the princes. So even though he's not the master of that Nen beast, will it let him die in that process? Essentially,
Yeah.
it's an interesting. It's an interesting. What was the whole plan? Them just trapping him in there?
So, if I remember right, their plan was to convince Loserus that there was an attempt on their life, and then they were going to help him get out by getting him onto one of the emergency lifeboats. And then,
Okay.
whenever he was almost out of the ship, the same thing that killed Kacho would kill him.
Okay. That makes sense. Yeah, it's interesting to think if they took the worm to the lifeboat, would it let it happen? Hmm.
Yeah. And of course, how will Loserus's Nen Beast react when they try it?
Yeah, that as well. I think we're gonna see that in these 10 chapters for sure, though. I think that's what I think we're gonna see
Yeah.
the plan to kill Loserus, the plan of Karapikas, as we're already seeing, basically. The
Yeah.
reaction of the Nen class to the announcement of the martial law and what happens there afterwards. And I don't know what else we're gonna see in these 10 chapters, though. But definitely that. I feel like
Yeah, maybe
that's a guarantee.
some.
Maybe some.
I want to see more of the Sari squad. I
Okay.
love them.
Well, I've only really seen like 3 of them, kind of. There's like 6 of them, and we've only seen like half of them talk.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna see another. I'm making a bet. I'm betting on one of those gambling websites. We're going to see at least one panel of Leorio before this is all over.
Yeah.
We got to be fed.
I think I want at least one panel, at most 3. I don't think 3 panels is enough for them to kill Leorio.
Leorio is going to die.
Not if he only gets 3 panels, he's not.
I mean, we mentioned it before. Karapika is going to be drawn to multiple different things that he's going to have to choose between. I think it could be an interesting thing where Leorio is one of those things, you know?
That is a good point. A big thing with Karapika is that he did and does kind of withdraw from the people that are close enough to him to help him make the right decisions. Like, that's just kind of a thing that he does and always has done. So I think Leorio specifically getting involved more closely with Karapika will be very interesting.
Well, when it comes to other people, Leorio is very ride or die. So it's like, the second, Karapika is purposely keeping Leorio in the dark here as well. Like, he doesn't want Leorio to know a thing about what's happening, because the second Leorio knows what's happening, Leorio is not going to be able to not stick his nose into it.
And when he does, he'll die.
And when he does, he has a great chance of dying. So I think that's another strong reason why Karapika is just like kind of keeping him in the dark, essentially.
Yeah. Man, Hunter x Hunter is so good.
Yeah.
I think I'm all out of thoughts now.
Yeah.
I think I've drained all my thoughts dry.
I'm putting a Kalshi bet on Leorio next chapter. We're going to see a panel with Leorio.
I'm unfriending you because you actually opened up Kalshi.
I'm making a Kalshi bet. How crazy would it be if we saw a little peek into the Beyond Expedition team? What's happening with them right now? It'd be so funny if I'd be so funny if it was like everyone's reaction to the martial law being initiated, and then it cuts to Beyond's expedition team just like chilling on a boat, like, bruh, shit boring as fuck, bruh.
Bro, like Pariston and Jane are playing like a game of like Dundee or something, and they've just been playing the same game for like 2 days straight. And Pariston is just beyond ticked off, while Jane is just like half paying attention to it while he like plays a video game on the side. Like, this is my vision for what they're doing on that boat right now. Also, for the both of them, this is the equivalent of them having day sex.
And Jing's having another call with Gon and saying, "Listen, I can't help you. Figure it out yourself. I can't do anything." Just so we can see Gon for one more panel.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, at the end of the arc, who do you think is going to have more panels, Gon or Leorio?
Leorio, but it's going to be by like 1.
That's fucked up. That's fucked up. I wouldn't say
It's
that
like
shit.
It's like 5 panels versus 6.
There's no shot Leorio doesn't have some shit to do in this arc.
Right?
All right, I think you're right. I think we're thinked out. We're shit posting now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're good now. Yeah, I'm all good. This has been a good stream. Thanks everybody for stopping by.
Yeah, 'twas fun.
Sorry I didn't interact with chat much today, but we were locked in.
I'm sorry to interact with chat much either. Me who has no chat.
I had one person in here.
Hey, it's like infinitely times more than me. So, sorry, I did have
That's
one
true.
person, and they said buy AI chatbots at.
Oh, I did too. Oh, you know what? I forgot to ban them. Oh well.
Whoa.
Also, no shiny Ponyta.
It's a damn shame.
That's what
So
I've been doing on my side. Shiny hunting and Sword and Shield.
yeah, I've been beating the shit out of a gemstone crab in RuneScape because you can AFK that. You can AFK it for 10 minutes each time you click on it. So you just click on it once and it AFKs for 10 minutes. So
Heck yeah. Wrapping it
yeah.
up.
But next time we talk, it'll be next Sunday, probably at a later time.
Yeah, probably at a later time. I won't know my schedule for Sunday until Friday midday. So, but it'll probably be later because I normally work Sundays. This has been the only exception. But yeah, thank you all so much for coming by, and bye a stream.
Bye.